I wanted to just say something about that.
Please.
About the fact that you feel rejected, yet you're in business. Well, when we are doing business, we know that the business and the person are two separate entities. However, one of the entities depends on the other.
Yes.
Your business depends on you. So your values, what you hold dear in your life, translates into your business. So if you do not set values for your business, for example, you can't say that I cannot compete with people. It can be your personal value that I don't compete with people, but it cannot be a standing value for business, because the moment you're having an idea to start something, there are 40 other people having the same idea at the same time.
Yeah.
So the values of a personal brand and the values of a business or company differ. So you need to sit down and state the values of your company or your business. That yes, we are going to have competition in this business, but we are here and we are going on whatever it takes. So it means as a proprietor, you need to get to a place of evaluating yourself.
Very beautiful. Very beautiful. A round of applause to Coach Fiona. Mrs. Kwagala, no feelings. Huh? Because feelings fluctuate. And for ladies, it's even worse. For ladies, it even follows your cycles, it even follows your mood swings, it even follows what? So the moment you're like that, you start fluctuating, people are like, this one is not reliable. People need value and reliable value. People need value and dependable value. I need to come to you to buy the same thing even tomorrow, even next year. I should be able to find a same quality or better quality. So that is how I want to be able to come back to you. Have you seen saloon people that have the same customers, that someone can leave Entebbe and go to Mukono because of a saloon person? They give them value. They are dependable, that whenever they call them, they can avail time. And so they're like, you know what? I can skip everyone else. I will go back to my old person, because it's only the truth that is going to set you free. The truth that you don't know is never going to set you free. You're going to say, this is how I am. Hey, stay in your house, lock yourself up, and stay the way you are. But if you come out, then we will tell you, yellow does not look good on you. And yet for you, you thought you were so nice. Okay? But does it mean that you're going to stop putting on yellow? No. You're not going to stop putting on yellow. There is a time I put on a yellow, I think it was a yellow double two-piece, and people on TikTok were like, NRM colors. And I'm like, a yellow was created for a NRM. If you don't want to listen, don't listen. It belongs to some. Scroll on. You have options. No one is making you stuck. It's your data and it's your phone. Why waste time? Okay? But when someone comments on your business and your product, they are actually giving you feedback. And feedback is one of the most important things in business. And that feedback should not be added with feelings. That feedback should be received, put down properly to cool down, so that you can cool down. And then you think objectively and say, what can I do better? You're doing catering. You're doing civil engineering. You have all these things going. When you come with your, is it Good Life? What was it? Super Life. It's Super Life. When you come, people have rejected Super Life so many times, right? They're like, me, I don't want those, schemes. Me, I don't want those what? They call them all sorts of names. Has it ever deterred you from doing business? If tomorrow you don't come back to sell your business, then you're like, you know what? You didn't believe in that business in the first place. So let's move on to the next thing. And you know that people buy in what you believe in sometimes, not in even what you're selling. They're like, by the time this person has done the same thing in and out. Do you know people used to consume Macarena, what was that? Pancakes? Because they're like, how comes this person has been there for a decade with the same white cars, with the same white jackets, and with the same white gloves, and they're selling Macarena by the pack side every year in, year out, year in, year out. And then the people that used to eat them, they're like, you know what? This person has the same taste, and we have failed to get the same pancakes everywhere around town. But for decades, he was selling. I don't know whether he's still selling at the park. But someone will be like, this person believes in this, and so do I. Okay? So I want to support a person that believes in what they have to sell. By the way, even if you're a coach, or even if you're a counselor or a mentor, even if you deal in business, okay? Sometimes I'm going to, in clothes, sometimes I'm going to buy your clothes, not because I need your clothes, but because you believe in your clothes too much. So you start preaching, you know? Have you seen influencers? Have you bought things because influencers have displayed them and, catwalked, and then you're like, have you seen the idea of what I ordered and what I got? As in, you looked at an influencer with calves, and then you're like, that two-piece is going to hug me the same way, in the same measure, in the same proportions, only to put it on your body and it is going straight. and you're like, God, what did I do to myself? And let me tell you, it's worse for men. Because men, you will never know. Have you seen a man that is putting on an oversized trouser? Like, it's just gafla. They are sweeping the floor. And for them, they think they are very... And then you find these sharp girls, Bambi, and then you're trying to say something. And the girl is only seeing the trouser. They're not seeing you. Have you seen them?
Hello, everyone.
Yes, hi.
Kevin is my name. So for me, in between, I don't know what to do between. I have a full-time job and so I'm doing.
Okay.
So I'm thinking of which one to decide on.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I love, I want money on my job also, and I also need money the other side of the business. I'm doing, I'm baking.
Okay.
Of course, I've been baking now for 2 years, and I found it was good because I was like, oh, so I can get my salary and I can also get my here that keeps me going. You get. So it happened this year. I was so reluctant. So I was like, what do I do now? I need this job. I also need this small business. Should I drop my job? Yes, I'm like, no, but I'm also earning some good money. And also here I'm like, now this business also is helping me cope up with what I'm doing, what I'm doing. So I am there in between really in deciding what to really do.
Okay. So this is a job versus a side hustle that you've practiced for more than 2 years. And you've seen the good in the side hustle. And was there a month where in your side hustle you earned more than your job?
Not really.
Okay.
Because I would imagine I've been there, but I'm like, of course, not really. I would say really, not really.
Your job pays you more than your side hustle.
Yes, because now the side hustle is like I get orders, not often, but you get orders once in like 3 times a day, 4 times a day. But you keep on using the money also because you're like saving this money and also the salary. So it was.
But at least at the end of the month, you can be able to calculate and say, in my side hustle, even if I've used the money, at least I've been able to make 500,000. And this is the job that I am doing. Because how we know sometimes, not all times, how we know that we are at the crossroad, the intersection between our job and our side hustle is when your side hustle can actually cater to your bills because you have running bills that you pay every month. I would assume that maybe you have rent, you have water, you have electricity, you have medical bills, you have transport, you put on. So if you think that your side hustle can actually get to a place, can pay these bills, the important bills, okay? I usually say that if you're able to do savings with your business, and that savings can be able to carry you on for 6 months without a pay in your job, so that you can concentrate that time, because that means if you concentrate that time to your side hustle, you're able to triplicate or duplicate or whatever it is, but multiply that income. Because you've been working 5 maybe to midnight and maybe weekends, but right now you have a full day to yourself. That means you've been not much promoting and branding, but right now you're going full swing into branding and marketing and creating the awareness that, guys, this is what I do, okay? So that means the chances of that business doubling itself or the profit doubling itself is very high, or even tripling itself. So that means you have to be very calculative and very strategic and be able to give yourself a time frame and say, okay, by the end of this year, let me say you're working towards December. And you're like, by the end of this year, I should be able to cross over from my full-time job to my side hustle. So what do I need to put in place in order for me to achieve that? I need to be in a sort of not comfort, but be able to pay my bills, okay? And long enough for me to pick my business up. Because remember, you'll be picking it up. It's not where you want it to be. It's a business, it's an idea. You've been able to do some of the hard work, okay? But you need to be able to pick it up. You need to be able, say, for example, to choose a niche. Did you know that in baking, there are niches that people have tried to do? The gluten-free, they've tried to do the sugar-free cakes, and someone has a niche just to supply a market that does sugar-free cakes. And then there is one that it's all about weddings. I only do wedding cakes. And then there is one that does picnic cakes, only picnic cakes. And they're different. So people have niches, even in baking. So you can create your niche. You know who your avatar is. You know where they hang out. You know where they buy their things. You know what their children want. As in, you are fully invested in that in order to grow that income to that capacity. But you need to be able to self-sustain long enough, like 6 months, living on your savings, okay, to be able to determine. Are there people that have gone back to their full-time job after the side hustle has refused? They are there. You get it? And then are there people that have walked away from their full-time jobs and gotten to their side hustles, and their side hustles have like ruptured in success? And they'll be like, what was I thinking? All those years that I spent, you get it? Now it works both ways. But here, there is nothing like failure. There is only winning and learning. Whether your side hustle goes tanks, because sometimes it tanks before it comes up, because you're trying to figure out a lot of things. So when it goes down, we are saying have the 6 months backup that you can live on your bare minimum, but at least you're paying your bills and you're good to go. You're not living a luxury life, but you're paying your bills, okay, while you're trying to pick up this business. Remember, you also need to invest even more to have more capital, okay? So that means that you're working towards self-sustaining for a period of time, and then you're working to having more capital invested in this business. So do you see how calculative you must be, that I am looking at December, and between now and December, I must have had this amount of money. So how do I have this amount of money? How much do I save? How much of my money of my budget do I cut down? Because sometimes we can even work on half a budget in a certain instance. And you can say, no, I am not buying any new clothes until December. I can work with what I have. Why? Because you're avoiding more money leakages, because you have an intention of having more reinvesting or more capital for your business. Does that make sense? It is not an easy job, okay? Half the time they have regretted, half the time you wake up today and the feeling is different, and tomorrow it is shattered. You know, when there is no order, then you're thinking, maybe employment is better. When the orders come, you're like, no, I don't want to get back into the employment sector. So the business world is moody. The waters are very up and down and fluctuating, but it is the resilience that keep riding on the waves of these waters, and it's very possible. Does that help?